Imagine if someone told you there was a muscle that quietly influenced how quickly your body ages, yet almost no one ever thinks about training it. Most people would immediately guess the heart, others might say the legs because they carry us everywhere, or the arms because they help us lift and work. Those muscles are certainly important. But the muscle we're talking about today is different. It works behind the scenes every second you're awake, shaping the way you move, the way you stand, and even how well your body protects itself from the gradual effects of aging. The strange part is that many people use this muscle every day without ever truly challenging it. It performs its job so automatically that it's almost invisible. You don't admire it in the mirror. You don't hear people bragging about it at the gym. Fitness advertisements rarely put it on the cover. Yet researchers who study aging, mobility, and physical performance increasingly recognize that its condition may reveal far more about long-term health than impressive-looking muscles ever could. Think of your body like a tall building. Most people pay attention to the walls, the windows, and the decorations because they're easy to see. But engineers know the real secret lies in the foundation. If the foundation becomes unstable, every floor above it begins to suffer. Tiny cracks appear, doors stop closing properly. Eventually, even strong walls can't compensate for a weak base. Your body works in much the same way. Many of us spend years trying to strengthen the muscles that move our arms and legs, while overlooking the muscles that stabilize everything else. These deeper muscles don't exist to create dramatic movement. Instead, they make movement possible in the first place. They quietly keep the spine supported, the pelvis balanced, and the body aligned every time you stand, walk, bend, reach, or simply remain upright. You can think of them as your body's natural support system. Every step you take begins with them preparing the rest of the body for movement. Every time you pick up a grocery bag, climb a flight of stairs, or get out of a chair, these muscles activate first, often before you're even aware of it. They're constantly making tiny adjustments to keep you balanced against gravity, one of the few forces that never takes a day off. Here's what makes this especially fascinating. As we age, many visible muscles gradually lose strength if they're not challenged. But these hidden stabilizing muscles often weaken even earlier because modern life gives them fewer opportunities to do their job. Long hours of sitting, comfortable chairs, elevators, cars, and reduced physical activity mean they spend much of the day underworked. Over time, the brain begins communicating with them less efficiently, and they become slower to respond when balance or stability is suddenly needed. This is why two people of the same age can look remarkably different in how they move. One person stands tall, walks confidently, reacts quickly to uneven ground, and seems decades younger than their birth certificate suggests. Another moves cautiously, struggles to maintain balance, tires easily, and feels older than expected. The difference isn't always larger muscles or greater athletic ability. Often it's the strength and coordination of the muscles working quietly beneath the surface. In many ways, aging isn't simply about how many birthdays you've celebrated. It's about how well your body can continue doing the countless small tasks that keep you independent. The muscle we're exploring today may never win a bodybuilding competition, but it plays an enormous role in determining whether your body remains stable, efficient, and resilient as the years pass. And once you understand how it works, you'll begin to see that one of the greatest secrets to healthy aging has been supporting you all along. You just never knew it deserved your attention. Now comes the bigger question. How could a single group of muscles have anything to do with the speed at which we age? After all, aging seems like something controlled by our genes or simply by the passing of time. While genetics certainly matter, scientists now understand that the way our bodies age is also shaped by how well they adapt to everyday challenges. And this hidden muscle plays a much larger role in that process than most people realize. Think of your body as a highly coordinated orchestra. Every movement you make requires hundreds of muscles, joints, and nerves to work together with remarkable precision. If even one section of the orchestra falls out of rhythm, the entire performance begins to suffer. In the human body, these deep, stabilizing muscles act like the conductor. They don't produce the loudest movements, but they coordinate everything else. When they are strong and responsive, movement becomes smooth, efficient, and balanced. When they weaken, every step, every lift, and every change in position requires more effort than it should. This extra effort may seem insignificant at first. You probably won't notice it after a single day or even a single month. But over years, those tiny inefficiencies accumulate. Other muscles begin compensating for the missing support, placing extra strain on the knees, hips, shoulders, and lower back. The body starts using more energy to accomplish the same tasks. Fatigue appears sooner, small aches become chronic discomfort. Gradually, activities that once felt effortless begin to feel surprisingly difficult. The effects go beyond muscles and joints. Every time you move, your nervous system is making thousands of rapid calculations. It constantly gathers information from your eyes, your inner ears, and specialized sensors inside your muscles and joints. These signals tell your brain exactly where your body is in space, allowing you to stay balanced without consciously thinking about it. Deep stabilizing muscles are an essential part of this communication network. They send continuous feedback to the brain, helping it make split-second adjustments whenever your posture changes or the ground beneath your feet becomes uneven. When these muscles are neglected, that communication becomes less accurate and less efficient. Imagine trying to drive a car with delayed steering. You can still reach your destination, but every correction takes longer, and every unexpected obstacle becomes more dangerous. The same thing happens inside the body. Reaction times slow, balance becomes less reliable, and the likelihood of stumbling or falling increases. There's another reason this muscle influences aging so profoundly. Movement itself is one of the body's most powerful maintenance systems. Every time you move efficiently, blood circulates more effectively. Nutrients are delivered where they're needed, waste products are removed more efficiently, and cells receive signals that encourage repair instead of decline. Strong stabilizing muscles allow you to keep moving with confidence, which means the rest of your body continues receiving the benefits of regular physical activity. On the other hand, when movement becomes uncomfortable or unstable, people naturally become less active. They avoid stairs, shorten their walks, sit more often, and gradually lose confidence in their own bodies. This reduction in activity creates a domino effect. Muscles shrink, bones become weaker, cardiovascular fitness declines, metabolism slows, and everyday tasks become increasingly difficult. It's not that aging suddenly accelerates overnight. Rather, the body's repair systems receive fewer opportunities to stay active because movement itself has been reduced. This is why researchers often view mobility as one of the clearest indicators of healthy aging. The ability to stand up easily, walk with confidence, maintain balance, and recover quickly from physical challenges reflects far more than strong legs or good endurance. It reflects a body whose systems are still communicating efficiently, adapting effectively, and working together as they were designed to do. In many ways, this hidden muscle doesn't control aging by changing the calendar. It influences aging by determining how well your body responds to the countless physical demands of daily life. The better it performs its quiet, behind-the-scenes role, the more resilient, capable, and youthful your body can remain, even as the years continue to pass. The real danger of a weak stabilizing muscle isn't that something dramatic happens overnight. Aging rarely works that way. Instead, it begins with changes so small that they're easy to dismiss. You might notice that getting out of a chair takes a little more effort than it used to. Walking on uneven ground suddenly requires more attention. Standing on one leg while putting on a shoe feels less stable. These moments seem unrelated, but they often share the same hidden cause. Imagine removing a single bolt from a large bridge. At first, nothing appears different. Cars continue driving across it, and people hardly notice a change. But over time, the stress that bolt once carried is transferred to other parts of the structure. Those parts begin working harder than they were designed to. Tiny weaknesses develop, and eventually the entire bridge becomes less stable. Your body responds in much the same way. When the deep stabilizing muscles weaken, other muscles immediately step in to compensate. The larger muscles in your hips, lower back, thighs, and shoulders begin doing jobs they were never meant to perform continuously. They can handle the extra workload for a while, but they do so less efficiently. As a result, movement becomes stiffer, less coordinated, and more tiring. This compensation often explains why people experience persistent aches without a clear injury. The lower back tightens because it's trying to stabilize the spine. The hips become sore because they're absorbing forces that should have been distributed more evenly. Even the neck and shoulders can become tense as the body struggles to maintain balance and posture throughout the day. The pain itself may not originate where it's felt. Instead, it's often the body's way of revealing that something deeper has stopped doing its share of the work. Balance is another area where weakness quietly reveals itself. Every second you're standing, your body makes hundreds of tiny corrections to keep you upright. Most of these adjustments happen automatically, far below conscious awareness. When the stabilizing muscles are strong, these corrections are quick and precise. If you trip over a curb or step onto an uneven surface, your body reacts almost instantly to prevent a fall. As these muscles lose strength and responsiveness, those corrections become slower. A stumble that once would have been effortlessly recovered now turns into a dangerous loss of balance. For older adults, this is especially important because falls are one of the leading causes of injury, loss of independence, and hospitalization. Preventing falls isn't just about stronger legs, it's about maintaining the hidden system that allows the body to react before a fall actually happens. Walking also begins to change in subtle ways. Steps often become shorter, speed gradually decreases. People spend more time with both feet on the ground because it feels safer. While these adjustments may seem sensible, they often signal that the body no longer trusts its own stability. Researchers have found that walking speed is one of the strongest predictors of future health because it reflects the combined performance of muscles, nerves, balance, and cardiovascular function. When walking slows significantly without another obvious cause, it may indicate that multiple body systems are beginning to lose efficiency. The effects don't stop with movement. Reduced stability often leads to reduced confidence. Someone who fears falling may avoid long walks, skip social outings, or stop participating in activities they once enjoyed. Less movement means muscles receive fewer challenges, bones experience less healthy loading, and the heart and lungs work less often at higher levels. Over weeks, months, and years, this creates a downward spiral. Less activity causes more weakness. More weakness leads to even less activity. Scientists sometimes describe this as a vicious cycle of physical decline. The body is incredibly adaptable, but it adapts to whatever lifestyle it's given. If movement becomes limited, the body assumes those physical abilities are no longer needed and gradually reduces its capacity. Muscles shrink, coordination declines, and endurance fades, not because aging demands it, but because the body is responding exactly as it was designed to. Perhaps the most important thing to understand is that these changes are not always an unavoidable part of getting older. In many cases, they're the result of a hidden support system slowly losing strength through years of underuse. The good news is that, just as this process develops gradually, it can often be improved gradually. By recognizing the warning signs early and giving these overlooked muscles the attention they deserve, it's possible to interrupt the cycle before temporary weakness becomes lasting decline. If this hidden muscle has such an important influence on how we move and age, the next question is obvious. Can it actually become stronger? The answer is yes, but not in the way many people imagine. Training it isn't about lifting the heaviest weights or building the biggest muscles. Instead, it's about teaching your body to communicate more effectively with itself. In many ways, the greatest changes happen inside your nervous system long before they become visible on the outside. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first attempts often feel awkward. Your muscles aren't necessarily weak, but your brain hasn't yet learned how to coordinate them. Every wobble is really your nervous system experimenting, collecting information, and making tiny adjustments. Eventually, balancing becomes automatic. You don't consciously think about every movement because your brain has built efficient pathways that allow everything to work together. Training deep stabilizing muscles follows a similar process. These muscles are controlled by an intricate partnership between the brain, spinal cord, and sensory receptors located throughout your muscles, joints, and connective tissues. Every time you practice controlled movements that challenge your balance or posture, this communication network becomes more refined. The brain learns to activate the right muscles at exactly the right moment, often before larger muscles even begin to move. Scientists refer to this as improved neuromuscular coordination. Although the term sounds technical, the idea is simple. Your muscles don't work alone. They work as part of a conversation. The clearer and faster that conversation becomes, the more efficient every movement feels. Instead of wasting energy correcting instability, your body can direct that energy towards smooth, confident motion. The muscles themselves also begin to adapt. Like all skeletal muscles, stabilizing muscles respond to regular challenges by becoming stronger and more resistant to fatigue. Tiny muscle fibers repair themselves after exercise, gradually increasing their ability to generate force and maintain stability over longer periods. This process depends on consistent practice rather than occasional intense effort. Even relatively small exercises performed regularly can stimulate meaningful improvements over time. At an even smaller scale, remarkable changes are taking place inside individual cells. Each muscle cell contains tiny structures called mitochondria, often described as the cell's power plants because they convert nutrients and oxygen into usable energy. As people grow older, mitochondrial function naturally becomes less efficient. Cells produce less energy while generating more waste products, contributing to fatigue and slower recovery. Regular physical activity helps reverse part of this decline. Exercise encourages the body to build healthier, more efficient mitochondria while improving the performance of existing ones. As a result, muscles become better at producing energy, recovering after activity, and resisting fatigue. In a sense, you're not simply strengthening muscles, you're upgrading the machinery that powers them. Training also influences the body's repair systems. Physical activity acts like a signal that tells tissues to maintain themselves rather than gradually break down. Muscles release beneficial molecules known as myokines during contraction. These signaling proteins travel throughout the body, supporting communication between muscles, bones, blood vessels, and even the brain. Researchers continue to study these molecules because they appear to play important roles in reducing inflammation, supporting metabolism, and promoting healthy aging. Another fascinating adaptation involves balance itself. Every time your body experiences a small challenge, standing on one leg, walking over uneven ground, or carefully controlling a slow movement, it learns from that experience. The brain stores the successful solution and becomes better prepared for the next challenge. Over hundreds and thousands of repetitions, these improvements accumulate into faster reactions, steadier posture, and greater confidence during everyday activities. This is why progress often seems to arrive quietly. You may not notice dramatic changes after a week, but one day you realize climbing stairs feels easier. You recover from a stumble without thinking. Carrying groceries requires less effort. Standing for longer periods no longer feels exhausting. These aren't isolated improvements. They're signs that multiple body systems are becoming more efficient together. Perhaps the most encouraging discovery is that this ability to adapt doesn't disappear with age. While younger bodies often respond more quickly, research consistently shows that older adults retain a remarkable capacity to strengthen muscles, improve balance, and refine coordination when given the right kind of challenge. The human body is far more adaptable than many people assume. It is constantly listening to the demands placed upon it and adjusting accordingly. When you regularly train this hidden support system, you're sending a powerful message. These abilities are still needed. And in response, your body begins rebuilding the strength, coordination, and resilience that help slow the physical effects of aging. Knowing that this hidden muscle can become stronger naturally leads to one final question. What should you actually do? The encouraging news is that improving it doesn't require expensive equipment, extreme workouts, or hours in the gym. In fact, some of the most effective exercises are surprisingly simple. Their power comes not from intensity, but from consistency. The body responds best when it's challenged regularly in ways that mimic real life. The first habit is to move with intention rather than simply moving more. Many everyday activities are performed on autopilot. We stand up, walk across a room, climb stairs, or lift a bag without paying attention to how our bodies are working. By slowing down occasionally and focusing on posture, balance, and control, you encourage the deep, stabilizing muscles to become active again. Instead of relying on momentum, you teach your body to create stability before movement begins. One of the simplest exercises is standing on one leg. It may sound almost too easy to matter, but this single movement asks your stabilizing muscles, nervous system, and balance mechanisms to work together continuously. Start by holding onto a sturdy chair or countertop if needed, then gradually reduce your support as your confidence grows. Even practicing for 20 to 30 seconds on each leg a few times a day can provide a meaningful challenge. As your balance improves, your brain becomes quicker at making the tiny adjustments that help prevent falls during everyday life. Another valuable habit is learning to rise from a chair without using your hands whenever it is safe to do so. This movement strengthens not only the legs but also the muscles that stabilize the hips, pelvis, and spine. Every controlled repetition reinforces the coordination needed for one of the most important daily activities, standing up independently. It may seem ordinary, yet maintaining this ability is closely linked with preserving mobility and independence as we age. Walking also deserves special attention. While walking is one of the healthiest activities available, Simply accumulating steps isn't always enough. Occasionally walking on slightly uneven natural surfaces, changing direction, or varying your pace gently challenges the body's balance systems far more than walking on perfectly flat ground every day. Of course, safety comes first, especially for anyone with balance concerns. The goal isn't to create risk, but to provide your body with opportunities to adapt. Exercises that emphasize slow, controlled movements can be especially beneficial. When you move slowly, your body cannot rely on momentum to complete the task. Instead, the stabilizing muscles remain active throughout the entire movement, continuously making small corrections. Whether you're performing a bodyweight squat, a gentle lunge, or simply lowering yourself into a chair with control, slower movements encourage better coordination and greater muscle activation. Breathing is another often overlooked part of stability. Deep muscles surrounding the abdomen, spine, and diaphragm work together every time you inhale and exhale. Practicing slow, controlled breathing while maintaining good posture can improve both stability and body awareness. It's a reminder that balance doesn't begin with your feet alone. It begins with how your entire body organizes itself around your center. Equally important is avoiding long periods of uninterrupted sitting. Modern life encourages hours spent at desks, in cars, or on sofas. During these long stretches, many stabilizing muscles remain relatively inactive. Simply standing up every 30 to 60 minutes, walking around for a few minutes, or performing a few gentle movements helps remind these muscles that they're still needed. Small interruptions to prolonged sitting can accumulate into significant benefits over weeks and months. Perhaps the most powerful habit of all is patience. The body doesn't rebuild strength overnight, and these deep muscles often improve gradually because they're designed for endurance rather than dramatic displays of power. Some days progress may seem invisible, yet beneath the surface your nervous system is refining its communication, muscle fibers are becoming more resilient, and countless tiny adjustments are adding up. The results eventually appear not only in exercise but in everyday life. Walking with greater confidence, climbing stairs more easily, recovering from slips more quickly, and feeling capable rather than cautious. In the end, healthy aging is rarely determined by a single breakthrough or miracle solution. More often, it's shaped by small decisions repeated consistently over time. Every controlled step, every balanced stance, every deliberate movement sends your body the same message. Stay strong, stay adaptable, and stay ready for life. That hidden muscle you've overlooked for so many years has been waiting for exactly that signal. And once you begin training it, you're not just building strength, you may be helping your body age with greater resilience, independence, and confidence for many years to come.